Hey guys, it's your girl Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my quick powder foundation routine. Some mornings when I'm running late for work, I just don't have the time to sit down and do all the contouring and the concealer and the foundation. I just literally don't have time for it. So I started going back to my powder foundation routine for days when I'm just in a hurry. Back when I was in like high school and college, all I ever wore was powder foundation pretty much. I just felt like that was all that I needed. But now that I've gotten a little bit older and I know more about makeup, I only really use powder foundation by itself when I'm in a hurry. So I wanted to share this with you guys today and just show you the foundations that I like, and also just to show you how quick it is. So I already have my eyebrows and my eye makeup done. That's the one thing that kind of takes the longest, but even on a day when I'm in a hurry, I've got my eyebrow routine and this eye makeup routine down to a science pretty much, so it literally doesn't take me that long to do. So the first thing that I do when I'm doing my powder foundation routine is I always want to prime. No matter if you're using liquid foundation or powder foundation, you always want to prime your skin just because you want your foundation to go on evenly and have a nice base to adhere to. So usually when I do my powder foundation, this is the primer that I like to use, and this is the Olay Fresh Effects Clear Skin Swirled Mattifier. And I like to use this because it's a mattifying primer, but it's also a moisturizing primer, and I really like this. I found this at the drugstore. I think it was at Walgreens, and I found it on clearance, and so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try it and see what it does. So I really like it. So the next thing that I do is I spot conceal. Now this isn't completely necessary. If you're someone who you kind of have clear skin, then you probably can skip this. You can probably skip this step. But if you're someone who you're dealing with some breakouts or some blemishes, then taking your concealer and just spot concealing a little bit will kind of help give you a little bit extra coverage. And I just have a few little blemishes that I like to spot conceal. And I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender. So now I'm going to go back in with that same concealer, and by the way, I'm using the NYX HD Concealer in the shade Nutmeg. You guys know this is one of my favorite concealers. So I'm going to take that same concealer and I'm going to conceal underneath the eye, and I just do this because I feel like I have some dark circles underneath there, and I just like to even that out a little bit. And then just to add a little bit of brightness to the under eye, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer in the shade Medium on top of that, just to blend the two together. And this is just going to add a subtle brightness to the under eye. Now I'm not going for like a full highlighted under eye like I normally would if I was doing like a full foundation routine. I just want it to be a little bit bright underneath the eye because I still want that lift even though I'm wearing powder foundation and I'm in a hurry. So I'm just going to go in and blend that out with my beauty blender. And you'll notice that I'm not really dragging this out like I normally would. If I was usually doing like my normal routine, I would drag this all the way out and probably down a little bit further to give me that like really dramatic highlight, but I'm not really doing that here. I'm just kind of keeping it concentrated underneath the eye, covering up any of those dark circles that I have. So now to set underneath the eye, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Translucent Mattifying Powder. I really like this for the powder foundation routine because it is a translucent powder, but it also has like it does also kind of brighten as well. So I like to use this to set underneath the eye. And so now I'm going to go in with my powder foundation. Now if you wanted to, you could definitely conceal like the bridge of your nose and on your forehead and still do that whole highlighting thing if you want. I'm not going to do that for for this, usually when I do my powder foundation routine, I'm not really kind of doing all that. I'm just going for the underneath the eye because I want to look bright and awake underneath there. So next, I'm going to show you the powder foundations that I like to use. So my number one holy grail powder foundation is the MAC Studio Fix foundation, and I'm in the shade NW45. This is definitely my go-to powder foundation when I'm doing this. But for a more affordable option, I do like the BH Studio Pro powder foundation as well, and this is in the shade 250. I also like the shade 255. 255 is really a little bit darker. They're pretty similar in shade. 250. This is the MAC NW45. This is the BH Pro Studio foundation in 250. So they're pretty similar, and these are real. This is actually a really good dupe for the MAC Studio Fix, and it's way cheaper. So if you're looking for an affordable alternative, then I would definitely recommend the BH Cosmetics one. So when I apply my powder foundation, and I'm using the MAC Studio Fix foundation, when I apply that foundation, I like to use a nice dense brush like this one. This is the e.l.f. powder brush. I really like this one because it's going to pack on that color. It's a nice flat kabuki brush. Or if you're going for a little less coverage, you can always use like a big fluffy brush like this. This is another e.l.f. brush, and this will kind of apply that powder foundation a little bit lighter while still giving you coverage. But I like to maximize my coverage, so I'm going to use this one right here. I'm not going to be buffing it into the skin. I'm going to be pressing it into the skin with like dabbing motions. And I'm going to avoid the under eye area because, again, I want that area to be a little bit bright. So once your powder foundation has been applied, it's kind of up to you what you do next. Usually I skip over contour because I just am in a hurry and I don't have time to do it. So for the sake of the video and being true to what I would normally do, I'm not going to do any contour, but I'm going to go in with a blush, and I'm using the Milani Coral Cove powder blush. It's one of those pretty rose blushes. So pretty. I love this blush. It's a gorgeous color for spring and summer. Highlight because I have to highlight like no matter what, and I'm using this highlighter right here. This is an Ofra highlight, and it's in the shade Bliss, and I'm gonna use a big fan brush from Morphe. Now I'm just going to finish up and do my lips, lining my lips with the Sephora Gel Rouge lip liner in the shade what is this? Is this Rosewood? Yeah, Rosewood. One of my favorite ones. It's so pretty. Totally pretty by itself. And then over top of that, I'm just going to go in with an Estee Lauder lipstick, and this is in the shade Pinkberry Creme. It's a gorgeous, like, nudie brown pink color, you know, my favorite shade ever. And then to finish off, since we just used a lot of powder products, I like to go in with my Fix Plus just so I can kind of get rid of that powdery look and get rid of any cakiness that might be there. And that is literally all I use to set my makeup when I do my powder foundation, because I've realized that with the powder foundation, I don't get as oily. Sometimes oils do break through, but it's not nearly as bad. So I don't feel like I need to go in with like my Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray or anything like that. So I just go in with a little bit of Fix Plus and I'm good to go. So yeah, that's it, you guys. That's it for my quick powder foundation routine. As you can see, it's really quick, it's really simple, and so easy to do. And at the end, you look very put together and it looks like you spent a lot of time on your makeup when really it took you no time at all. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you haven't already so you can see more awesome content from yours truly. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.